Hi, this is Greg from Greg's Bass Shed. Welcome to the lesson. We're going to be looking at the bass line from Shadows in the Rain by Sting. Now this version is from the 1985 album Dream of the Blue Turtle, so it's not the original version by the Police. If you haven't seen it, then check out the movie Bring on the Night, because it documents the making of this album and the subsequent live tour. The album was very groundbreaking at the time because it combined commercial pop with jazz, and this was really groundbreaking at the time. It's hard to believe now, but nothing like that had been done before then. The groove on this version of Shadows in the Night is outstanding. It's got Daryl Jones on bass and Omar Hakim on drums, and when I first heard this song years ago, I was used to just play it round and round and round. It's a really fun one to play on the bass. But it is a little bit tricky in places, so what I've done at the end of this video, I've given you a simplified version where you can play the basic riff but not some of the faster notes. I've put this simplified version along with the main bass line on a PDF, and you can get that below this video by clicking the link in the description, and I've put that in standard notation and tab. Don't forget also to subscribe to Greg's Bass Shed here on YouTube by pressing the red subscribe button. Also click the notification bell if you want to find out as soon as my new lessons are released. I'm going to go straight into explaining the bass line now, and we're going to start with the verse. Now the tempo of this song speeds up on the original as it goes through, but we're going to keep it at a steady 180 beats per minute, and that's quite fast to be honest, so remember when you're playing the bass line yourself to play it slowly first of all. The outline of the chord sequence is 4 bars of A minor 7, 4 bars of D minor 7, 4 bars of F, 2 bars of B7 and 2 bars of E7. So that repeats round and round for the verse, and when you get to the chorus you just play the riff over A minor, so the first riff you just play that 4 times for the chorus. And so the format of the song really is verse, chorus, and then it goes into the solos, but I'll speak about the solos later. So now I'm just going to play you the verse and the chorus with a backing track. The main riff sounds like this, and it's really important to get that articulation and that push in, and a push, if you don't know, is when you play just before the beat. So you start with A, G, open E, G, and then so play those 2 notes short, and that's pushed early, that A. You don't play, you play so just before the beat. So I'll play that slowly and just play along with me. 3, 4. And you take that riff to D. But when you move from A to D, you play this. So open A, C, C sharp, D. So from the A riff. So that's quite fast. And you're into the D riff there. Then we play the riff on F, and this riff is similar, but we use F, E, D. And then down to B. So I put my first finger on B because you're going to need to be in that position. So jump to first finger. And then when we're on the B, it gets a bit tricky here, the B and the E. So you do root, 5th, flat and 7th, 7th, up to the octave. So if you're on B on the 7th fret, 9 on the A, 7, 8, 9 on the D. and then that's quite fast. So you're coming back down, both on 9, and into 4. So you might find a position that you prefer to play this in, but I quite like it here. And then it's up to E, and that's really nice. There's a kind of triplet there. It's muted notes, but I'm sort of playing 2 muted notes on a G and a muted note on a D. And you can play anywhere. When you're playing that muted note on a D, you can play it anywhere as you move down to that F sharp. And then again. So we're doing F sharp, G, G sharp, and then back into the riff. So from the B, and then back in the riff. So practice that slowly. It's just a kind of technique that you can it does work better at speed. Keep trying it and then suddenly you'll get it. You need to do it really slowly first. Okay, so again from the B. And back to the A. So for the chorus, remember you just play that A round and round. So you've got some really tricky little bits here. Remember I've written that all down on the PDF, standard notation and tab. So again, at the end of the video, I'll show you the simplified version if you're struggling with some of these extra bits that we've got. Those bit. Okay, so I'll play that for you really slowly, the whole thing. Into the chorus. Now when we get onto the solo sections, that's just the same chord sequence as the verse. So Daryl Jones mixes this up a bit, especially on the different live versions. So check those out on YouTube, just Google it. There's lots of different versions up there, and there's actually the Bring on the Night, the main movie you can see on YouTube as well. So he mixes it up a bit, but what I've done on the PDF, I've just written a standard verse, so the bass line from the verse, and then the second time round I've put a few little licks you can see towards the end of that chorus that Daryl Jones puts in on one of the live versions. So I'll play that for you now. So that was the solo section. And remember, when you play the solo, you don't play the chorus calls. You don't play those 4 times around the A that's tagged on the end of the verse. And that sax solo, if you're interested, was by Jamie Anderson. Now, he runs a really great YouTube channel called Get Your Sax Together. He's got tons of videos on there. They're really excellent. So if you know any sax players or you play a bit yourself, then go and check his channel out. I'll put a link below this video. Also on drums, that's Ian Whitehead on drums. So he's playing on all the backing tracks. So he put that track together and tried to get some of Omar Hakim's kind of rhythms in there. He's done a great job. So yeah, those 2 guys on the backing track, and I kind of made the rest up at home. So I'm going to put that backing track. I'll put the solo section and the verse section at the end of this video so you get a chance to play through it yourself. I'll take the bass out. So it's really good to play these bass lines slowly until you can play them till you're really confident, and then play with a backing track. That really kind of puts you to the test. I'll now show you what I'm doing at the end of the second solo section. So we've got a really interesting rhythm here. On one of the live versions, the whole band does it. So it's bam, 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 that rhythm. Bam, 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 bam. So from the B section, that's kind of really where it changes. Right up there, so those last notes, F sharp, G, G sharp, and then straight down again. It's really the same, it's just up an octave, that bit we played there. So I'll play it from the B section. So you've got this really nice chromatic line here. And then back down. So have a look at that bit on the PDF. It's a really nice line there. I'll now show you the simplified version, and what I've done, I've used the main riffs. I've just taken out the faster notes. So again, that's on the PDF, and I'll play that for you now. So we start with this riff again. And I forgot to say, actually, when we're playing the verse, this applies to all the versions, then when you come in after the drum fill, then you push that first note, you push that first A. So you play it just before the beat. So 1, 2, 3, 4, boom. Okay, so that's what you do in the simplified version. You don't have to play the... So... and then D, and then F, and then for the B flat. Okay, so down to C sharp, full fret the A string. Same repeated pattern really. E. Okay, just move that up. The B starts on the E string, and then the E starts on the A string, and then I've written this here: F sharp, G, G sharp, A. Okay, so I'll play it for you really slowly. 3, 4. And then the chorus, just remember, you just go around this riff on the A. And it'll work as well if you play that verse, just the verse section underneath the solos. You can play that simplified version, that'll work under all the solos. So that should be enough now for all of you to play the song, the simplified version or the full version. Maybe if you play the simplified version for a bit, then you could go on to the full version later if you're struggling initially. So like I said before, there's some really interesting lines that Daryl Jones puts in on some of the live versions. So check those out, see if you can get some of those other lines down. And remember, I've written this all down on the PDF. You get that by clicking the link below this video in the description. You might also want to check out my bassline breakdown series on YouTube. So I'll put a link here now up here. So that's got tons of different bass lines that I've done a similar lesson to this. Over at my website, gbshed.com, I've got a load more bass resources. I've got free videos, free PDFs, I've got details of my books, my video courses. You've got a great giveaway on the homepage. So if you're interested in working on your bass guitar playing, then definitely check out my website, gbshed.com. Again, I've put details of that in the description below this video. So there's loads of stuff in the description, so go and check that out. Remember to like, share and comment on this video. I love seeing any of your comments. I'll answer all of those when I see those come in. And also remember to subscribe by pressing the red subscribe button and click the notification bell. This is Greg from Greg's Bass Shed. I'll see you in the next video very soon.